Welcome back to The Outsider's Perspective. My name is Ollie, and the reason that I'm here today is that I just baked up a nice fresh loaf of bread for you. Today's loaf of bread comes to us by way of Marcus James Allen Aurelius. And he says, "Test every thought and sense perception, if possible, by the methods of science, the laws of morality, and the rules of logic." Yes, well, is it James Allen? Is it Marcus Aurelius? Well, if you watched last week's video, I don't blame you for being confused because they're saying virtually the same thing. This is Marcus Aurelius. But if you compare to last episode's quote, you're going to see that there's more than a passing resemblance. In fact, they're saying basically the exact same thing. Marcus is just being a little bit more to the point, if you will. The idea, once again, is that we should be testing not only our thoughts, but even the things that we perceive, as Marcus says, our sense perceptions. What we hear, what we see, what we feel. We should be ready, willing, and able to test these by 3 laws, according to Marcus. What does he say? The rules or the methods of science, the rules of logic, and the laws of morality. Now, I'm going to suggest to you that you disregard the 3 specific things that he lists there. I mean, unless you agree and you think that those are good. But what I would like to suggest to you is that you can replace those 3 things with whatever methods or sources you rely on. You know, so for me, the method of science is very good. It's very reliable. It's robust. The fact that I'm doing this right now is because the scientific method works most of the time. And when I say it works, what I mean is it reveals an understanding of nature that can be used functionally by humans, right? If we were getting it wrong, the shit that we build wouldn't be working. So method of science is a great approach for me. The laws of morality, well, I believe that morality is more or less subjective. So, you know, there are no real hard and fast laws, but I have laws, I have rules that I follow. And so, yeah, I will filter those things through that. And then last but not least, the rules of logic, which, again, logic is not the end-all be-all, but it is very useful, like the scientific method, at uncovering certain things, certain facts, or certain aspects of reality. And so I think it's a good trifecta that he provides, but you could just as easily say test every sense perception and thought by the values of Christianity, or you know, by the fourfold path of Buddhism, or whatever your thing is, right? The idea is that thoughts and sense perceptions are being questioned, and they're being scrutinized according to a certain metric or a certain criteria, right? Science, logic, morality, whatever. So yeah, it's just, again, coaching ourselves to take a more deliberate and a more conscious approach to the things that are going on in here all the freaking time. The most important things, right? Because this is ultimately what determines the value and the quality of our, you know, living experience, right? Whether something is good or bad, right or wrong, helpful or not helpful, that's all rooted in this stuff. So pay attention to it. And don't just take it at face value. Question it and see what happens. You know, as James Allen said last episode, this is how you cultivate the discrimination that destroys confusion. And I promise we'll talk about that a little bit more next episode. So I hope you'll join me for that. And until then, I will bid you farewell and say, live well, my friends.